At Boar's Head, we've been going back to school for over 115 years. And this year, every school lunch is reason to celebrate with the flavors your kids love and the exceptional quality you expect. Helping you make school lunch fresh, easy, and delicious. Ring the bell. The deli is open. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905. At Boar's Head, we've been going back to school for over 115 years. And this year, every school lunch is reason to celebrate with the flavors your kids love and the exceptional quality you expect. Helping you make school lunch fresh, easy, and delicious. Ring the bell. The deli is open. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Having the right people in your corner for life's biggest milestones makes all the difference. Like a friend who's there when you're house hunting or checking out a new ride, State Farm is there too, helping you choose the coverage you need. With a State Farm agent, you know someone is there to help you along the way. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help choosing a plan that fits your needs, so you can continue celebrating all of life's milestones. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hello, I'm Sarah and welcome to day 12 of 14 days of summer fear. I've got 4 spooky summer stories to share with you today. I'll get straight into them. Are you ready? For the first story. My cousins disappeared in front of me. Okay, so this was a few years ago, so I don't remember every single detail. One day, me, my parents, my sister, my uncle, my aunt, and my 2 cousins were out on a park or something. I don't remember what that place was exactly. We were walking, talking, etc., until we got to a part where there was a rocky beach, and I was following my older cousin while my younger cousin was behind me. We were jumping from rock to rock while talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about. And as we neared the end of the rocky beach, I looked down to see where I was going to jump next. And when I looked back up, they weren't there anymore. They just vanished, both of them. So I yelled out their names and nothing. There was no one there. Not my cousins, my parents, my sister, my uncle or my aunt. I look around, and after 2 minutes I left the rocky beach and tried looking for them. It looked like they were nowhere near me, and I didn't have my phone with me, so I couldn't call them. So there I was, lost, and with no idea where the rest of the group was. Thank goodness I remembered where the car was parked. So I walked all the way back to the car and waited almost an hour, and they came back. Everyone was worried about me, and everyone was okay. Even my cousins were there, and I asked where they went, and I told them what we were doing. And my cousins told me they had left the rocky beach way before reaching the end. So I was just there, dumbfounded. Like, what the heck was that? Who was I talking to? Why did they look and sound exactly like my cousins? Why did they suddenly disappear? Were they trying to separate me from the group? And if so, why? Does anyone have any idea of what happened? Not sure what happened there. And until the very end, I was kind of like, okay. And then it was a reminder that they were still hanging about with their cousins, and they obviously wasn't their cousins. So who or what was it? Don't like it. Don't agree with it. Are you ready for the second story? A ghost led me to her body on the beach last year. The last week of July last year, I went to Ocean City, Maryland, with my boyfriend at the time. The first few nights were great. I got to see a longtime friend who lives there, and he was tagging along with us the night it happened. My boyfriend and my friend decided they wanted to get crab fries. I wasn't interested, because I just don't like Old Bay on fries. I'm sorry, sue me. So I decided to sit on a bench and wait for them. I saw a family go by, and I saw their daughter walking behind them. She looked really mad and was texting quickly, as if she was in a really heated argument. She had short, bleached white hair and really sick tattoos. That's what made her stick out to me. Her tattoos, they were awesome. So anyway, my boyfriend and friend came back over, and we walked behind that family for a while. We ended up getting distracted by the boardwalk performers, and I lost sight of them. I didn't think anything of it though. Around 2 a.m, we were some of the only people on the boardwalk beside the small groups of drunk teenagers, smoking cigarettes and yelling. And I saw her again, running towards the beach crying. I wanted to go after her and ask if she was okay, but my boyfriend advised me to just stay out of it and keep going. We went to our hotel and fell asleep. At about 6 a.m, I got up and rolled a cigarette and quietly left the room. The hotel we were staying at had a nice sitting area out front, looking over the ocean. I admired the view for a few minutes when I noticed her again. She was walking down the boardwalk looking confused and scared. She was crying. Still, I got this weird gut feeling to follow her. I tucked my cigarette into my clutch and followed a little bit behind her. She looked nervous and was looking left and right as if she was lost. I followed her all the way to the 2nd Street beach ramp. She suddenly bursted into a full sprint, crying hysterically. I don't know why, but I shouted, "Hey, wait, do you need help?" I ran to the beach and just stood in shock. Nobody was there, but I could hear soft sobbing nearby to the right of me. I walked down the beach a little ways before I saw it. Where the sobbing sounds had led me, there was an arm sticking out from the sand. It was her arm. It was her tattoos. I'll never forget them. The sobbing stopped, and suddenly the ambient noises of the beach became louder again. I didn't notice at the time, but the whole time I was following her, and then following the crying, everything else was completely silent. When I realised what I was looking at, I screamed for someone to call 911. A middle-aged couple came jogging up. The wife screamed, and the husband dialed them right away. I didn't have my phone with me. I don't like it when sand ends up in the charging port. The police arrived a little while later. When they took my statement, I didn't even know what to tell them. I said I'd been walking down the beach and just found her. It took them hours to dig her out. When they finally started to pull her out, they asked that all civilians and witnesses be led away. As we were walking with the police to a nearby spot to answer more questions, I saw her standing behind them, looking down at her own body. She looked up at me, nodded, and then she was gone. Initially, the reports all said she was sat in a hole and it collapsed around her. But then it was later discovered that the big sand cleaners may have pushed the sand into the hole by mistake. But here's where it gets scary. She'd been missing since 2 a.m. She died somewhere between 2 and 3 a.m. And yet I saw her and followed her. The entire time, I swear she looked real. I still have dreams about her. I've never forgotten a single detail. This was obviously quite sad, but I'm really glad that this person found them, because who knows how long they would have stayed there. They may have never been found, and it would have been one of those cases, that got missing, never found, upset and ran off or something. So at least there was a little bit of closure. Are you ready for the third story? Female entity following father-daughter duo. Hello guys, this is my personal encounter that I still vividly remember to this day. It was 2017 and I'd just finished high school and usually spent my free days hanging out with a couple of friends at a beach. The location of the beach is right next to an elite gated community in Queens Bay, Penang. They put up zinc fences, the ones you usually see at construction sites, between the housing area and the beach. So the beach is not very well known to the public, only the residents and a few fishermen sometimes would be there. The beach length is around 600 metres straight and around 200 metres. Part of it is covered in thick bushes. People usually don't hang out in the bushes. They prefer to sit on the open beach. But for me and my friends, we prefer to sit in the bushes, as it's well secluded from the sides and behind, and you can only see the beach. It's technically trespassing, as it was a site for future construction. One day, there were about 3 of us. We went into the bushes to hang out. We hung out until it was close to 8 p.m. We could hear the Muslim prayer calls going on. The sky was getting darker, even more darker inside the bushes, as there were no lights there. In my country, it's not advisable to go outside during the dusk Muslim prayer calls, especially if you're a kid. The superstition is that bad spirits will be running frantically when they hear the prayer call and might clash with you. As it was getting dark, we decided to leave. We started our motorcycles. I had a pillion and my friend was solo, so it was 2 motorcycles for context. We navigated through the 200 metres of bushes until we reached the small opening on the zinc fence. After the zinc fence, it's just an open stretch of beach. When I passed through the fence, I saw a man in his 30s, walking slowly along the beach with his daughter, I guess around 6 years old, while holding her hand. I would say this man was around 400 metres from me. Behind them, around 60 metres, there was a lady in full black attire following. The type of attire you see women in Arab countries wearing. The full black ninja suit. But this one you can't even guess where her feet and hands are. Even though my country is predominantly Muslim, but wearing an abaya is uncommon in my country. Remember, by this time the beach is empty. Only the family and my gang remains there. Initially, I thought the lady is the mother and didn't give much thought about it. I was more focused on riding my bike on beach sand as I need to pass by them to go back to the main street. As the distance between me and the lady decreases, up to about 10 metres, the lady suddenly stopped moving. I looked at her normally, then only her head turns to me, locking her eye contact to me. The head turned in a very spooky manner. Now, I'm looking at this super pale face, large eyes, hijab, staring at me without blinking once, nor any facial movement. Just mad staring at me. All this happens while the father-daughter duo just keep walking without acknowledging the fact there's someone behind my back. I was super spooked. Didn't say a thing, just wide opened my throttle and left the scene ASAP. In my country, there's a notion that you shouldn't acknowledge a ghost presence if you encounter one. Acknowledging them will cause more trouble. So because of this, I kept my mouth shut, and I reached my pillion's home to drop him off. Then I asked my friend, who was with me on my bike, "Hey, did you see that lady on the beach just now?" My friend said, "I thought you didn't see it. It was spooky as. It's definitely not a person, because we can't figure out where her feet were when she was walking." The next day, we hang out at our same spot. We asked our other friend who was solo on his motorcycle yesterday. I asked, "Hey bro, did you see that lady in black hijab yesterday?" He was super stoked when we asked that. He said, "Yeah man. I saw it standing next to the fence opening. I thought you guys didn't notice it. You guys just passed it by without noticing." For context, I was in front of him by 10 metres or so. I went through the fence opening first, then he followed closely behind. I was like, "What do you mean it stood by the opening? It was on the middle of the beach, far in front of us." Dude was puzzled after hearing that. Then me and my pillion narrated our version of the encounter. He said, "No, that's not what happened to him." Based on his narrative, after a few seconds, I passed a fence opening. It was his turn to pass it. By the time he was passing it, he saw that lady standing right next to him with that same blank stare. Literally, 1 foot next to him. Imagine you went through a door, then someone standing next to the door frame was watching you. I was baffled with his version, because it's impossible for that lady to have moved that far in seconds. It was like 300 metres plus between both points, and my friend was only a few seconds behind me. To date, we couldn't clarify what it was. Our conclusion is that it might have been some jinn following the father-daughter duo. Voodoo is quite common in my country, so that could be an entity tasked to either haunt or protect that father-daughter duo. Who knows? Who doesn't love a bit of gin? And I don't mean the type with tonic, because I don't like gin. I don't drink anyway. Spooky, because I really had visions of this woman. And yeah, just tallying it up with your mate afterwards and finding that no, she was actually by me. So they were seeing it from their own perspectives, and she was everywhere. Are you ready for the fourth and final story? The Orcadian Devil. For the past few years now, I've been living by the north coast of the Scottish Highlands, in the northernmost town on the British mainland. Like most days here, I routinely walk my dog, Maisie, along the town's beach, which stretches from one end of the bay to the other. One thing I absolutely love about this beach is that on a clear enough day, you can see in the distance the islands of Orkney, famously known for its Neolithic monuments. On a more cloudy or foggy day, it's as if these islands were never even there to begin with, and what you instead see is the ocean and a false horizon. On one particular day, I was walking with Maisie along this very beach, having let Maisie off her lead to explore and find new smells from the ocean. She's now rummaging through stacks of seaweed when suddenly Maisie finds something. What she finds, laying on top a stack of seaweed, is an animal skeleton. I'm not sure what animal this belongs to exactly, but it's either a sheep or goat. There are many farms in the region, as well as across the sea in Orkney. My best guess is that an animal on one of Orkney's coastal farms must have fallen off a ledge or cliff, drowned, and its remains eventually washed up here. Although I'm initially taken back by the skeleton, grinning up at me with molar-like teeth, something else about this animal quickly catches my eye. The upper body is indeed skeletal remains, completely picked white clean. But the lower body is all still there. It still has its hooves and wet dark grey fur. And as far as I can see, all the meat underneath is still intact. Although disturbed by this carcass, I'm also very confused. What I don't understand is why had the upper body of this animal been completely picked off, whereas the lower part hadn't even been touched. What's weirder, the lower body hasn't even decomposed yet and it still looks fresh. At the time, my first impression of this dead animal is that it almost seems satanic, as it reminded me of the image of Baphomet, a goat's head on a man's body. What makes me think this is not only the dark goat-like legs, also the position the carcass is in. Although the carcass belonged to a sheep or goat, the way the skeleton is positioned almost makes it appear hominoid. The skeleton is laid on its back with an arm and leg on each side of its body. I'm not saying what I found that day was the remains of a goat-human creature. Obviously not. However, what I do have to mention about this experience is that upon finding the skeleton, something about it definitely felt like a bad omen. And to tell you the truth, it almost could have been. Not long after finding the skeleton washed up on the town's beach, my personal life suddenly takes a somewhat tragic turn. With that being said, and having always been a rather superstitious person, perhaps that's all it was, superstition.
At Boar's Head, we've been going back to school for over 115 years. And this year, every school lunch is reason to celebrate with the flavors your kids love and the exceptional quality you expect. Helping you make school lunch fresh, easy, and delicious. Ring the bell. The deli is open. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Every day as a small business owner feels like solving a puzzle. One moment you're cruising along, and the next there's a shipping snag that has you scrambling. But here's a surprise you will like. With Progressive, small business owners save 10% or more on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So go ahead, surprise yourself. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This was definitely a beast from hell if ever I did hear about one. That would have freaked me out. I've got to be honest, once we were... Where were we? Somewhere in Devon. I think it was the dinosaur park or something. We're taking the kids. And I saw a dead chick and it really cut me up. Really broke me. So if I'd have seen this, I think I would have been quite upset. I did see a dead sheep in a field once when I was out hiking with Rog and I wanted to take it home. But to be fair, it didn't have a lot of flesh on it and I just really wanted the skull. But Rog wouldn't let me. Well, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed and I will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
At Boar's Head, we've been going back to school for over 115 years. And this year, every school lunch is reason to celebrate with the flavors your kids love and the exceptional quality you expect. Helping you make school lunch fresh, easy, and delicious. Ring the bell. The deli is open. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Try Angel Soft for your tushy. It's made by angels. Soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple. Pick up a pack today.
Angel Soft.
Soft and strong, simple.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.